Okay, so I'm going to do a quick lesson on subtracting polynomials. And so take your booklet and go to page 199, example 1. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this with algebra tiles and then without algebra tiles. Okay, so the example says brackets 3b squared minus 2b minus 1, and then subtract minus 2b squared minus b plus 2. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is draw it out. Okay, so I'm going to start with this polynomial because this is the one that we want to subtract from. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, and then 2 negative b's, and then 1 negative 1. Okay, now from this I want to take away negative 2b's squares, but I don't have any negatives. So this is where those zero pairs come in handy. Okay, so I'm going to draw two negative b squares. But if I do this, this changes the whole polynomial. So I'm going to make it a zero pair. Okay, now what I have right here is still 3b squared minus 2b minus 1. Okay, but I'm going to be able to subtract minus 2b squared. Now let's see, do I have a negative b? Yes, so I'm good there. And then do I have any positives? No, so I'm going to add my two positives, but because that would change the polynomial that we have, I'm going to make that a zero pair. Okay, now I can subtract. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to take away negative 2b squared. Okay, so here are the negatives, 1, 2, done. Okay, next I want to take away 1 negative b, done. Okay, and then I also want to take away 2 positives. Okay, 1, 2. And what am I left with? Well, let's collect our like terms so we can see it all together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have a skinny rectangle, and then I have 1, 2, 3 small squares. Okay, so what does this give us? Well, this is 5b squared. This is negative b, and this is negative 3. So we have negative 5b squared minus b minus 3 is what you get when you subtract this from this. Okay? Now, if we didn't have algebra tiles, what would that look like? So I'm going to use the exact same equation. So we'll start with 3b squared minus 2b minus 1, subtract negative 2b squared minus b plus 2. Okay, don't forget to copy them down correctly. That happens to me all the time. Okay, first thing we want to get rid of the brackets. So for the first one, no problem. There's nothing in front of here, but in order to get rid of this bracket, notice we have a negative. That's the same thing as saying negative 1 times everything inside this bracket. So we have to use the distributive property and multiply everything inside that bracket by minus 1. Okay, so all it really does is changes the signs inside. Okay, so minus 1 times minus 2b squared is now plus 2b squared. Okay, minus 1 times minus b is plus b. Minus 1 times plus 2, minus 2. Okay, and now that we're that far, we can collect our like terms. Okay, so here's one, here's another one, here's one, here's another, and then here are constants. And notice how I try and include the sign, okay? That's handy when we try and collect our like terms. So 3, positive 3 minus 2 is just, oh sorry, 3, did I just rewrite it again? Oh no, here we go, 3b squared, sorry I lost myself for a second, plus 2b squared minus 2b plus b minus 1 minus 2. Okay, and so I double check and make sure I rewrote them right. So I have that one, 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 and I have that one. Okay, now we can simplify. So 3 plus 2 is 5, and b squared stays the same. Minus 2 plus 1 minus b, minus 2 minus 1 minus 3. Hello, look at that. It's exactly the same. Okay, so it works. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, go to page 200 and let's do number 1b. Okay, so it shows brackets 5t plus 1 subtract negative 2t plus 3. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is draw out this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and then plus 1 little square. Okay, now I want to take away negative 2t. I don't have any negatives here, so I'm going to draw them in. Okay, and to make sure that they don't affect our polynomial, I'll make them a 0 pair. Okay, and I also want to take away plus 3, but I only have 1. Okay, so I'm going to add 1, 2, because now I'll have 1, 2, 3 positives right on, and I don't want to affect that the polynomial either, so I'll make that a 0 pair. Okay, so this is our original equation. And now we're going to take away negative 2t. So here are my negative 2t's. I'm going to take those away. And I'm also going to take away 3 positives. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now, what do we have left? Let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7t, and negative 2. Right on. Okay, it's not that bad, and you don't always have to have, you don't always use 0 pairs. It's just if you don't have enough here to take away what it's asking for. Okay, so let's try that just using our symbols. So 5t plus 1 minus 2t plus 3. Okay, so we're going to take away our brackets. So first we're going to have 5t plus 1. And then again, I'm going to multiply every term inside the bracket by that negative. So negative times negative is plus 2t. Negative times a positive is negative 3. Okay, collect my like terms. So I have plus 5t and plus 2t, and then plus 1 and minus 3. So that is 5t plus 2t plus 1 minus 3 gives us 7t minus 2. Right on. See, it's not that bad. Okay, thank you so much. Give it a try on your own.